You will see him this Sunday hosting Football Night in America on NBC before the Lions take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC divisional round. First thing, Ahmed, we saw shots of Lions fans in tears after they beat the Rams on Sunday. You're a Michigan kid and a self-professed Lions fan. Did you lose it a little bit?
So I did, and you're supposed to, right? So I was doing the show, you're right, Football Night in America. Before the game, I was barely able to keep it all together during that. They asked for my final score prediction. I tried to stay unbiased, couldn't do it, said 56-10, Lions are going to win. And at certain points in this game, I thought it would actually happen that way. And then we did the halftime report. But the funny thing is, after the halftime report, I do a podcast every Sunday night with Chris Sims. And so we kind of watch the second half of our Sunday night game on a monitor while we're doing the podcast, talking about all the other games. And so I am like sweating through my hoodie that I'm wearing, trying to keep an eye on the game while I'm trying to direct Chris Sims. And so at the final whistle, I just put my arms up and I celebrated. I screamed like any Lions fan should. So I have definitely not tried to hide the fact that I am really enjoying this run by the Detroit Lions right now.
Will you have to hide it on NBC this Sunday? Because there are going to be some Bucs fans that probably wouldn't appreciate it.
Yes, I think I will. You know, the good thing is, and Jack, you know, it's just like as much as we are journalists, it's like we all got into this because we love sports and we usually had a team that we grew up loving. And if you're from Michigan, that was the Detroit Lions. So it's like Chris Sims will make a comment here and there about your Detroit Lions, and I will not try to defend that. But you know what it is, too, when you get in this business long enough, like, you know, you've come across people who now are playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Green Bay Packers. And while your fandom does not let you root for that team to win against your team, you still can appreciate what they've done and appreciate what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did against the Eagles and have brought them to this point in the playoffs.
Ahmed, this is the highest rated football game since the Super Bowl. Why has this team captured the hearts or at least the attention of the rest of the country?
Well, we all like an underdog, I think, and America has seized on to the fact that the Lions have been an underdog for a long time. And, of course, in the AFC, you had the Browns on that side, too. But I think it's like a bunch of things, right? It's like they've been an underdog for so long and they've been harmless. And so no one's built up hatred towards the Lions because why would you hate the Lions? They're probably going to lose to you. And so I think that's part of it. And we all like the underdog story. And I think the rest of America is seeing that there are some likable guys. I mean, is there a more likable head coach than Dan Campbell? And then you got Jared Goff going back and beating up his former team that discarded him. So there's so many good storylines and so many good people to root for the Detroit Lions that I think everyone watching football, unless you're a Bucs fan, come this weekend, I think is rooting for the Detroit Lions. All
right, so the Lions beat the Bucs in Week 6. How different is Tampa now from Tampa then?
I think they're letting it fly a little bit more, Jack, and I don't know if you see the same things, but they've definitely got more of an identity on offense. Rashad White, the running back, they're now able to run the ball effectively pretty much every game, and Mike Evans is still Mike Evans. You got Chris Godwin, then you got some other weapons who went off against the Eagles there too, and Baker Mayfield will let it fly with the best of them. And while on the defensive side, some of those players are getting up there in age, they have experience and they've played in some of these big games before. And so you look at the defensive secondary and Antoine Winfield and Jamel Dean, and those guys know what they're doing. So they've got a good mix of like playmakers on offense, guys that can shut it down on defense. And so I think, you know, it's not like a fluke that Tampa is in this game right here. Tampa is a legit team, and I think they are better than that team that lost to the Lions earlier this season.
What do you think will happen emotionally to you if the Lions do end up going to Vegas and playing in a Super Bowl?
My gosh. What would happen to all of us? You know what? I'll be a nervous wreck. You know, I grew up a Michigan fan, too, and I felt the same way when they were getting ready to play Alabama in the semifinal. I almost resigned myself to the fact, like, it was a great season. And I know that's loser talk. You shouldn't say that. But it's been a great season no matter what happens. It'll probably be similar with the Detroit Lions. And if they win, I mean, it's the same for all of us, right? We've stuck by this team for years and years and years. They've brought us so much joy and pain at the same time and so much human emotion that it'll be a feeling unlike that we've ever had before. I will not be able to contain it. I will probably be here at home with my family, screaming at the top of my lungs like many people throughout the country and throughout the state of Michigan.
All right, I know right now you're filling in for Maria Taylor on Football Night in America. You've worked in Olympics, so you've done big events. Do you feel the magnitude of this as big of a beast as the NFL has become?
Yes, you definitely feel the pressure of the weight of millions of people watching, and you get it in your ear as the show's going on. Hurry up, slow down, go here, go there. And so there's definitely a lot of eyes within the building at NBC on this show and outside of this building. But like Jack, and you've covered so many big events and Olympics throughout your career. After a certain point, you just have to enjoy it, right? Because you're like, why are we doing this? We're doing this because it's fun. People do this as a hobby. People do this as an escape. You know, some say it's a distraction. Whatever it is, we do it because we love it. And so what I've done the last few weeks filling in for Maria Taylor is like, this is really cool. The fact that I get to sit here right now, and if this is the last time I ever do a show this big with this many people watching, that's a pretty cool run and a cool career. And the fact that I get to do it covering the team that I grew up rooting for when I was a kid at Sparta High School and in Michigan, it's just even more reason just to enjoy the moment. So hopefully when you're watching this weekend, I'm not stressed out. I'm not feeling the weight of 40 million people watching. I'm just enjoying being a part of the craziness there.
He is the pride of Sparta, Michigan, Ahmed Fareed. Ahmed, enjoy, have fun doing the broadcast this Sunday. Can't wait to see you on there. And we'll see if we get another Lion victory here.
Jack, thank you. Always a pleasure talking to you. And don't tell anyone this, but go Lions.